We've now uncovered what seems to be the true reason behind 50 Cent's continued feud with Diddy, a conflict that, based on recent developments, appears unlikely to end anytime soon. The matter resurfaced in court today, shedding new light on a situation that has long been clouded by denials from those involved. To understand how things escalated to this point, let's revisit the origin of this conflict. It all began when music producer Lil Rod filed a lawsuit against Diddy, alleging that Diddy mishandled his publishing rights. The two had previously worked together on a project, but Lil Rod claims he was unfairly denied his share. In addition to pursuing legal action over the publishing issue, Lil Rod also threatened to reveal personal information about Diddy, asserting that he had been mistreated beyond just the business disagreement.
Okay, because I run shit. Some said, I run shit. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Lil Rod ain't worth giving this kingdom to if we don't control his publishing. I can solve his efforts with 3 other human beings. He's eating at our table, and I like his backstory, but you need to have other people. It's hard to work with him unless we have his power. He's a piece of human, but we do not need his talent unless we can work with him.
This is where 50 Cent and the mother of his child enter the picture. According to Lil Rod's court filings, Diddy allegedly bragged about financially supporting multiple women through regular monthly payments. Lil Rod's claims included that Young Miami Carisha, Jade Ramsey, whose full identity remains uncertain, and Daphne Joy were among those receiving these payments. He further asserted that Diddy referred to these women as personal companions and that they were compensated monthly for that role. True to form, 50 Cent did not stay silent. He responded publicly to Lil Rod's allegations involving his child's mother. In a post on Instagram, 50 Cent wrote, "I didn't know you was an egg worker. You little egg worker. Lol yo, this is a movie." This remark stirred controversy and led to a public response from Daphne Joy, who firmly denied Lil Rod's accusations. In her statement, she expressed how damaging and false the claims were. "I am deeply hurt by the lies in Rodney Jones' lawsuit. The claim that I am a worker is 100% false and amounts to character assassination. I am retaining an attorney to pursue all legal options against both Rodney and his attorney." But her response didn't end there. She also addressed 50 Cent directly, voicing disappointment over his decision to publicly share a comment that, in her view, supported an untrue and harmful narrative about her. She responded via an Instagram story directed at him. 50 Cent's actions have been causing considerable disruption and emotional distress for those involved. While he may view the situation as entertainment, it's a serious matter for others whose safety and peace of mind are now at stake. Daphne Joy shared that she had relocated to New York in hopes of allowing him to be a more present father, but he did not meet those expectations. She went on to say, "Let's now focus on your truly damaging behavior, assaulting me and violating me physically. You no longer have any power over my life. God will handle you from this point forward. You've completely destroyed my last bit of hope in you as a father and in keeping our family intact. These latest false accusations have broken our hearts for the final time." At first glance, her words painted a picture of someone wrong, making it seem like both 50 Cent and Lil Rod had created baseless stories without any real motive. However, the situation took a turn when 50 Cent later filed a defamation lawsuit against her, ultimately pushing her to withdraw her claims of physical abuse. All the while, Daphne Joy consistently denied any involvement in the alleged monthly payments from Diddy in return for being labeled a personal companion. She maintained her innocence on this matter right up until she was legally required to testify under oath in court. That's when her previous narrative began to unravel. Under oath, she admitted to the very claims she had previously denied. One of the most striking parts of her testimony was the insight it gave into the financial struggles that even high-profile individuals can face. Contrary to public perception, her statement served as a reminder that not all public figures enjoy the financial security often associated with fame.
Jane Doe has officially taken the stand. She's victim number 2. She will be on the stand for several days, and a lot of her testimony sounds very similar to Cassie's. First met Diddy in 2020 on a girls' trip to Miami, and at the time he was dating her friend, but he was still flirting with her and offered her his number. Two began texting and were calling each other nicknames. She would call him Ernie, and he would call her Bert. The day after meeting her, he texted her saying he wanted to take her out, but she texted him back saying it felt complicated. At the time of meeting Diddy, she was living on the East Coast and said that he was pursuing her, and when her friend got engaged to someone else, she decided to give it a go.
Her courtroom statements made it clear that the women involved were not coerced or deceived. They were fully aware of the circumstances and chose to engage for financial benefit. She recalled going on a girls' trip with a friend who was dating Diddy at the time. During that vacation, she discreetly obtained Diddy's contact information and began speaking with him behind her friend's back. Despite outwardly acting uninterested, her friend displayed similar behavior. After spending time with Diddy and being physically involved with him, she later married someone else and moved abroad within a few months. It appears likely that her relationship with Diddy overlapped with her new partner. The rapid shift from involvement with Diddy to marriage and relocation raises valid concerns about transparency and timing, according to Daphne Joy. Once her friend moved on, she and Diddy entered into a relationship. Her testimony revealed that she relied financially on the support Diddy provided.
In January of 2021, she said she flew out to Miami to have their first date, and they spent 5 days in a hotel room. Said they had dinner on the balcony, they went all the way, and she let him know that she had a child with someone that he knew. This person did not get along with Diddy, but he said that he didn't mind. During those 5 days, she said they did get dressed up and go out to a restaurant, and she was head over heels. A month later, for her birthday, Diddy took her to Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas for a 15-day luxury trip, and KK was there, as well as a chef, a butler, and at one point, even a barber. Diddy gifted her a bracelet that said love, and she told him that she was an influencer and that's how she made money, so because he was taking her away from her work, he wired her $10,000.
These women seem to approach their situations strategically. As social media influencers, they could maintain their income by posting content from virtually anywhere. In many cases, traveling only boosted their visibility due to the potential for visually appealing posts. Daphne Joy's testimony today focused on establishing that Diddy provided her with a monthly allowance in exchange for her participation in private encounters with other men, which she confirmed in court. T first. The arrangement didn't appear to be clearly transactional. However, it became more apparent when she voiced discomfort with continuing. That's when Diddy allegedly began pressuring her, making it clear that further financial assistance was conditional on her continued participation in what he described as hotel time. Eventually, she was told directly, "So, how are you planning? To pay your rent? You've got 3 months to sort that out."
She testified that he introduced her to X, Molly, Snow, and Came, and those were the substances that they would take every time that they would sleep together. She said that part of her life became very intense because every time that would happen, there would be red lighting, corn playing, she would wear dancer shoes, lingerie, and coated in baby oil. It would often last 24 hours, and it first started off making love, but turned into something else. She said that she and Diddy would often talk about his fantasies, and then said in May of 2021 in Miami, after being awake and high for 24 hours, he had brought it up. He suggested making one of the fantasies come true and inviting a man to the hotel, and she got nervous. He said Diddy's assistant started to prep the room, there was red lighting, and a man named Dawn showed up. He said Diddy and Dawn started talking, and she was sitting on the couch with her robe on, legs crossed, and she was nervous. When Diddy told her to stand up and start dancing to ease her nerves. He said Dawn was only wearing underwear and Diddy was making himself happy. And then you know the rest. She and Dawn started doing things, then she and Diddy did things, and said it was taboo and thrilling at first, but it opened Pandora's box. Now, Diddy would call these sessions freak-offs with Cassie, but she said with her, it was debauchery or hotel nights.
This is one of the main distinctions between Daphne's situation and Cassie's. In Cassie's case, prosecutors are working to prove that Diddy forced her into certain activities. They claim he used coercion and physical force. Daphne's case, however, does not involve such allegations. There are no claims of force or pressure. Instead, the focus lies in the transactional nature of their relationship. At the beginning, Daphne reportedly entered the relationship out of genuine interest and feelings for Diddy. But over time, the dynamic evolved into one centered around financial exchange. From a legal standpoint, exchanging money for sexual activity qualifies as prostitution, which is illegal. One of the charges against Diddy includes transporting individuals for the purpose of prostitution, a federal offense that can carry a sentence of up to 10 years. Even if prosecutors are unable to prove all charges, it's likely that Diddy could still be convicted on at least 2 counts of transportation for the purpose of prostitution, 1 count involving Cassie and another involving Daphne. Based on their testimonies, this allegation appears difficult to dispute. While there's room to question whether any force was used, both women admitted to participating voluntarily, with money being the primary motivator. Nonetheless, Diddy is said to have facilitated their travel, provided regular financial payments for these encounters, and when they expressed a desire to stop, allegedly threatened to cut off financial support.
And she said after that one time, it happened every time she saw him. And she said these nights were not short. It lasted 20 to 30 hours, involved 24 bottles of baby oil, and always followed the same script: red lights, substances, escorts, and doing it while Diddy was doing his thing. She had told Diddy she didn't want to do this anymore in writing and verbally. He would respond and tell her, "That's fine. If we break up, I'm not paying your rent." Because of that, she felt obligated to continue and said that Diddy was paying her $10,000 a month for rent and gave her cash, wired her up to $20,000 at a time, and told her to stay beautiful, available, and ready at a moment's notice. Whenever Diddy wanted these nights to happen, she said, "I always had child care ready." Because of this, she said she kept her appearance perfect, rarely saw her friends, and said her social media career dwindled. At one point, she tried to ask Diddy about being on OF because one of her model friends were on there, but he said no. He talked about a time when she went to the south of France in the summer of 2021 and said he was angry in the voice notes that he was sending her. Also talked about the fact that he wanted her to look a certain way during these sessions, saying he wanted her to have straight hair with a ponytail and wanted her to pierce, upstairs. He said they did take a short break in 2023, but it didn't stop the pattern of these nights. He said they got back together in February of 2024, which was after Cassie had filed her lawsuit, and broke up a few months before his arrest. And she told the jury, "It felt like a door I wanted to shut, but I couldn't."
Daphne began her relationship with Diddy after Cassie had already filed her lawsuit and following the release of the controversial video involving Cassie. She was fully aware of the circumstances and the risks involved. There were no claims of coercion, and even prosecutors do not suggest there was any. Women in situations like Daphne's are typically aware of the public perception tied to being labeled one of Diddy's so-called companions, particularly given that multiple partners may be involved. Realistically, she may have had significant prior relationship experience before meeting Diddy. After their split, that number may have increased further. It's possible she engaged with over 100 new partners during the period she was reportedly receiving $10,000 a month. Whether that arrangement was worth it is for her to determine. Now, her public image has changed. She may be viewed more critically, with some questioning her suitability for a serious relationship. At this point, Diddy might be among the few who would consider a long-term commitment to her. For most financially secure or successful men, the possibility of building a future with someone carrying that reputation seems unlikely. Moreover, $10,000 a month may seem significant, but in the context of Diddy's billionaire status, or even compared to a well-off average earner, it's not as substantial as it may initially appear. By entering into this arrangement, she arguably placed a lower value on herself. At this point, the type of partner she might attract is likely someone with limited financial stability who views her as a potential asset. For high-profile or successful individuals such as Jason Derulo, who she was once linked to, it's doubtful they would consider a serious relationship with her now. That chapter seems to be closed, and one can only hope the financial compensation she received made the trade-off worthwhile. It becomes concerning when she now portrays herself as a victim, possibly to shield herself from public backlash. That portrayal doesn't seem consistent with the decisions she willingly made. This broader context helps explain why 50 Cent has maintained a strong stance against Diddy and shown no interest in reconciliation. From his perspective, Diddy was involved with his child's mother while simultaneously engaging in other activities that raise serious ethical questions. The personal nature of these events likely plays a major role in 50 Cent's continued animosity. Just weeks ago, 50 Cent shared an Instagram post that read, "Don't kiss my son on the lips, you egg worker." It's apparent he fully understands the implications of what took place. When you consider the situation, his frustration makes sense. She was reportedly involved with possibly 150 different individuals with a wide range of personal interactions. From 50 Cent's point of view, this isn't just about her, it's about the mother of his child. And now his son has to navigate the long-term impact of these revelations. In an age where the internet preserves everything, this information will follow his son for life. That reality likely fuels 50 Cent's lingering frustration. Now, I'd like to hear your perspective in the comments below. Do you think 50 Cent will ever let go of this situation with Diddy? Do you view his child's mother as a genuine victim? Or do you believe her actions were entirely her own choice? Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates like this. Share your thoughts in the comments. I always appreciate hearing your views. Thanks for watching.